Hi guys! Getting the photo right in camera, that to say cropping the photo in camera and not doing it after the fact is important to some people. I'm not one of those people. I do try to get it right in camera, but sometimes when I'm not entirely sure, and sometimes I shoot a little wider than I might need because I know I can adjust it a little bit. And also there's a thing with aspect ratio. Your camera shoots in some aspect ratio, and if you want to change that to 1:1 or whatever you want, I see nothing wrong with that. And also, cropping a photo can completely change the story of a photo. And so I find it a very helpful tool. But there are a few things I like to keep in mind when I crop a photo, and this video is all about that. So here we are in Lightroom, and I'm gonna start with something here. Cropping, right off the bat is just easy. There's this crop tool here, and the first thing I wanna address is, before I would just unlock this aspect ratio thingy here, and I would just play with the cropping like this, not having any aspect ratio in mind. And that is not good if you're gonna print the file. Then it's always gonna be custom sized. So what I try to do is I try to use some of those presets. I use this one, for example, a lot, 5:7. I find it is a nice crop, and it's good for printing. For Instagram crop is 4:5. You can see that here. What I use a lot also is this one, 4:6. This is how it comes from my camera. It's not the same in every camera, but this is my 5D Mark IV. And then I often use this here, 16:9, which is kind of like a panorama format. But for this photo, I would probably, oops, wrong button. I would probably go for 5:7, let's see, because I find the whole photo here like it was from the camera. I liked it when I shot it, but after the fact I see here to the left there's a lot of space here. It isn't really doing anything for the photo, and also here to the right. So I would want to crop in a little bit, and even Instagram size 4:5 should be nice here. Look at that. This is so much nicer. Maybe a little tighter, just around the cloud here in the bottom. Still show the edges of it. Something like that. I find this to be nicer than the original one. And also here, for example, here I have a lovely image from Snæfellsnes Peninsula. And I like to see both ends of the image. The clouds here are nice and the clouds here are not, but there's some here in the top and here at the bottom I would like to exclude from the image. And instead of just taking off the lock and doing something like that, this is not exactly the correct way to do it. Like I said, there's no right or wrong, but let's find an aspect ratio that will, I'm gonna keep the lock on, aspect ratio 16:9, for example, which could suit us. And I find this one to be nice. It takes the empty spot from the sky and from the ground, including the fog on the ground, something like that. here we go. This is much nicer. And for example, let's take some people photos also. This here. I like the gesture of the guy, but you know, it could be like if you want to show the environment somewhat, you could do it something like that, or you just go vertical and only keep the guy in. And now it's a bit too much space here on the top, so I'm gonna change my probably to 4x5 again. There we go, see? Works perfectly here. And voila, I have a nicer image for it. Same here with this little girl. It's a little tough here because somebody's standing here really close, and but we can adjust that. We can let's see. Let's try to fix the. It's a little crooked. If I just take it down here, it's a little too much in the edge of the frame. So somewhere around here, this should be nice. And I could also do something like something completely different and just go for a little portrait of this girl because she's really pretty and posing here for me. And you might say, yeah, but this is going to be a small image. You know, you cannot you cannot make this photo really big. True, but it's still, I mean, I'm looking at here on a big screen and it looks perfectly fine. And sometimes you just have to ask yourself, do you really need a huge image? I mean, how many wall-size prints have you made, you know, to be fair? So, and also here with, let's see, with these guys here, the footballers, you know, the monk playing football. You don't see that every day. So let's see if we can tighten this. I need it to be 5x7 probably, something like that. So something like this. This is kind of nice. Puts me in the middle of the action. So now the story is all those guys playing football. What if I will change the story to this here guy falling? Maybe 4x5. Something like that. Now this photo is about this guy falling, not these guys playing football. So as you can see, just by cropping a photo, you can change the story, you can change the mood a lot. So take advantage of that. And also just tiny crops like this beautiful portrait here. You know, I would, there's something here in the bottom, there's too much sweater. Simple crop, I would just change this probably to 5x7. And I like the smoke on top. I would just cut away from the sweater a little bit, and there we go. Same here with the puffin. Puffin, this is a nice photo of a puffin. It shows, you know, some sea stacks and stuff in the background. But what if I just want to concentrate on the puffin and see how he's, you know, landing here on this little island? Then I would just do something like that. And with this crop, I just have a completely different photo. Here we have some Vietnamese sailormen going out to sea. This is nice. You could also decide just to go a little closer to the action. Just to, and always keep in mind the composition when you are cropping. Why would you crop it like this and not something. You can use. You can see when I have a crop overlay here, which is rule of thirds now, but I can go here and crop guide overlay, and I can choose other overlays here if I have something in mind to use the compositional rules. And I have a video, it's here in the description, all about composition and these overlays, these crop guide overlays you can use, and it's helpful. And lastly, here I have a drone shot of Estrahot mountain, and I like this crop, but sometimes I see people want to get like closer to the mountain for it to look bigger. Oops, I don't have my lock on. There we go. Let's try that again. And let's try 5x7. No. 4x5. Then I can get more of the mountain drama, something like that. It changes the mood of the picture completely. One thing I want to mention here, because it is fashionable now to take a photo like that and stretch the mountain like that. I guess for Instagram, like it looks bigger. It looks, you know, more dramatic than this. I find this very cheap. Well, you know, having said that, I sometimes, you know, when I have some perspective distortion, for example, when I'm pointing my camera down and everything looks a little flat in the background, I sometimes scale up the image just a little bit just to get back, to correct the perspective distortion. But to blatantly just warp this mountain from here to here, I don't know. You know, not my cup of tea, but yeah, it's a little fakey. It's a little cheaty. And lastly, let's take this photo here. Here I have some guys playing in the leaves, but I have a lot of options here. I can actually use these people here as background, like that. I can see it has a nice triangular composition here. When I do that, I could also just focus on the guys playing like that. I could also focus on showing that where they are playing is people are working here where they are playing, so it's I can give a sense of placement with this. I have a lot of options, and every crop tells its own story. So that's it, my view on cropping your photos after the fact. Like you've seen, it can completely change the photo. You can take a photo which isn't remarkable at all, recrop it and make it an amazing photo. Just completely change the story, completely change the atmosphere and the feel. It's all up to your creativity, and don't, you know, listen to those people that say it's cheating to crop your photos. It's been done since photography started. It's nothing new. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye.